Hey guys, LunarSpiral 1127 here again, and yeah, we're continuing this tonight. Well, today actually, it's actually still the afternoon, but yeah. Oops, sorry, I had this. I had this. Shoot, hang on. Sorry, I had the live stream running. Okay, so yeah, in case you guys were wondering, yeah, I'm continuing reading the Jorge Joestar novel, but after what happened last time. I decided to just do one chapter per live stream because if you guys haven't seen me read those first two chapters of the Jorge Joestar light novel, it was grueling. It really, really was. So, in case you guys were wondering, the Jorge Joestar light novel, this was a novel created from not by Hirohiko Araki, but a different author, which is based off the adventures of Joseph's father, Jorge Joestar, and apparently there are two Jorge Joestars. One is in an alternate universe in Japan, or Panlandia, an entire continent or something, and the other one is supposed to be the canon Jorge Joestar. What should I tell you what it's about? Well, let's see. Jorge Joestar, he's friends with Lisa, he falls in love with. There's a vampire who happens to be the father of the bully who ate his son. And then there's a bunch of Antonios that had their skin peeled off. And then George makes a friend named Tsukumujuku who talks a lot and is a detective, but he ends up in an alternate universe where he meets Jorge Joestar, aka Joji Joestar. And the next thing I know, Tsukumujuku is dead. There's something going on about this locked room maestro who dresses up as a clown and goes into people's dreams. And Yoshikage Kira might be involved in all this. It's some pretty weird stuff. Hey, Forte, thank you for joining us. My therapy told me to stop, but I can't. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, if you want to stop anytime, you can. I'm not forcing you. Oh yeah, drunken. I decided to do this a little earlier than usual because I couldn't do this late because I have to like go to work tomorrow. So I wanted to get this done as soon as I can. So yeah, today I'm going to be reading chapter 3 because I don't want to read the next two chapters back to back. It was a real pain in the ass. So, oh boy, yeah, let's get started with chapter 3, which is called Wounds. Okay. Tsukumujuku was missing, presumed dead, and it seemed my days of adventure had ended. I barely spoke to anyone but Mum and had my nose in a book all day long, at school or at home. Even though I had no friends as a child and rarely went outside, what about Lisa? Lisa, wasn't she your friend? Also, Tsukumujuku became your friend, so wasn't that something? I'm going to be listening too much, sadly. I still have some writing to do. I made a New Year's resolution to write at least 100 words a day this year. Don't want to drop this already, lol. Okay, Drunken, we'll take as much time as you need. I mean, you can always just watch this once this is uploaded anyway. Even though I had no friends as a child and rarely went outside, I'd not been much of a reader. But being friends with Tsukumujuku and seeing how he used the information he learned to help him solve cases and increase the flexibility of his thought processes made me incapable of remaining ignorant. But I still hated studying and never really took school seriously. So I couldn't really keep up with the other students. So I decided to start small with novels. Mother had quite a collection of English novels overflowing our bookshelves. Since there was a detective, I started with Sherlock Holmes. But after visiting the scene of real crimes with Tsukumujuku, it just seemed so tame and stiff. I then tried Charles Dickens, Oscar Wilde, and Emily Bronte, but it was H.G. Wells I fell in love with. The Time Machine, The Island of Dr. Moreau, War of the Worlds, The Invisible Man, all science fantasy, all terrific. Me like silent. Sorry, they even made me like science. When Mom saw me reading a book on science, she suggested we hire a tutor. She'd never really been one for forced study or early bedtimes, but she had a keen eye to when I might be open to such a suggestion. So I didn't feel moved to turn her down. Okay. I had an idea who might be a good tutor. A girl at Tsukumajuku and I met on our last case, the one who'd helped us finally catch Javier Cortez. Her name was Penelope de la Rosa. She had a pathological fear of clowns, so when Javier disguised as a clown, and tried to convince her to commit a locked room murder, the blow to her system had been so extreme she quit school and never left the house. She was quite the beauty, and I thought maybe sharing some stories of good times with Tsukumajuku might help cheer her up a bit. But when I went to see her, things didn't go so well. She barely gave me the time of day. Sorry, but seeing you makes me remember the clown in my dreams, and I get scared. Whoops. Clearly, I'd been tactless. Now that she mentioned it, when Javier had been after her, Penelope had been in a state of panic and was perpetually shivering even in broad daylight. Oh, sorry to just drop in like this, then. I didn't mean to upset you, I said, and turned to leave. I'm sorry too, George, she said from the other side of the door she refused to open. You came all this way. I can't stop myself thinking about the clown, but I was glad to see you, and honestly, it's something of a relief to talk to someone like this. A fear of clowns, isn't that just called common sense? Well, no, there are some people out there who have a fear of clowns. Clowns aren't scary unless they want your booty. Hi, have we gone to space yet? Space? No, we're just on chapter 3. Right now, George is talking to a girl named Penelope, who is the girl who was so scared of clowns that helped him and Tsukumajuku solve the mystery about these locked room cases. I don't know if you might be going to space, but I wouldn't be surprised. All right, let's continue. I was very glad to hear it. Also, even though nearly everyone I'd met solving cases was Spanish, they all pronounced George, George. Tsukumajuku's parting gift. That thought made me sad, but there was a warmth to that sadness. I went home. But the next evening, Penelope came to see me, looking very upset. George, he yelled from outside. Surprised I got out of bed, I glanced at the clock. It was 1:30 a.m. For a moment, I wondered if I dreamt it, but then she yelled again, Jorge Joestar! I cracked the curtains, and Penelope was standing outside the front door. What is it, Penelope? You've got to help. You've got to do something. Do something about what? Calm down. How can I? He's back. Javier Cortez is back. It's all your fault. Nothing happened until yesterday. Javier? That made no sense. The islanders killed him and dumped his body in the sea. Okay, wait a second. I'll be right out. I left the window, went downstairs, and burst out the front door. Penelope was shivering in a sleeveless dress and a pair of sandals. She did not appear to be harmed, just terrified. She collapsed into my arms and I approached. Her body was horrifyingly cold to the touch. Ah! She wailed, clinging to me. I'm so scared. Javier Cortez is still after me. He isn't, I said. He's dead. You saw the body. They'd beaten him with stones and farm implements until his skull split open. Wait, I thought in the previous chapter, according to Tsukumajuku, Harvey got beaten with the with the police sticks, batons. I think that's what they're called. He didn't say anything about rocks or stones or farm implements. That's strange. Okay. There was no way he could have survived. It was just a dream. Don't worry. He no longer exists. Penelope pulled away and glared at me. No, it isn't a dream. No, it wasn't a dream. It really happened. He came to my house. He couldn't have, I said, growing melancholy. Perhaps Penelope had genuinely gone crazy. Frustrated, Penelope yelled through her tears. It's true! And he ran ahead of me on the way here, jumping out at me. Jumping out at her? What do you mean? I'll hear you out. Just calm down and start from the beginning. Look, after you came to visit yesterday, I went back to my room. The door was locked from the inside, and so were the windows. I couldn't get in. It was a locked room. I thought there had to be someone in there at first. I was scared. So I went to the kitchen where my mother was. But the kitchen door slammed shut right in front of me. From the inside, I got scared and called out, and she started screaming, "Ah, there's some there in here." Excuse me. Now both of us are in a panic and trying to open the door, but it won't open. Cortez wanted me to kill my mother, remember? She knew that. So she thought it was me again and yelled, "Don't do it, Penny! Stop! Don't kill me!" I would never do that. Cortez is dead and I'm back to normal. I was so worried about her, I tried to kick the door open, but it wouldn't open. That's how you and Tsukumajuku used to get in the locked rooms, right? In an emergency, yes. If events were still in progress, we'd attempt to intervene, but normally we'd try to preserve the scene and look for a key or another way in, or make another way in. People making locked rooms often took a broken down door into account and would often try and use that to hide evidence. We didn't want to give them the satisfaction. Neosport. Oh my God, K Neosport, hi! Oh my God, I didn't know you were in this stream. Dude, thank you for uploading those clips of the Stars Crusaders dub. Anyway, sorry. Thank you for joining me, Kate. Let's see, I don't want to give them the satisfaction. But my kick didn't do a damn thing to the door, so I started throwing myself into it. At last it broke, and I came rushing in, just in time to see a clown in the corner. Oh, hi, Whipper. No, nothing much. You didn't miss much. We're just introduced to a girl named Penelope, who was one of the previous victims. Shit, my Discord went off. Yeah, Penelope was one of the previous victims, and it seems that Javier is back. Not sure why or how. He's just back and she's trying to get to Penny or something. That's what I'm trying to find out. But my kick didn't do a damn thing to that door, so I started throwing myself into it over and over. At last it broke, and I came rushing in just in time to see a clown in the corner before it disappeared. But I couldn't move. Mother was hiding behind the sofa, hysterical. At last, she came out and came over to me, but she blames me for everything. She thought I was trying to kill her again. She's sure I hate her now. Penelope's parents had divorced 4 years ago, and Penelope's mother had full custody. Penelope had blamed her for taking away her father. Their relationship had been strained to begin with, and when Penelope started dating a man named Edvard. Okay, oh, not Edward. It's Edvard. Edvard. Okay, Edvard. I don't know. Is that a real name? I don't know. A thug who beat her and sold anything she owned of value. Isabella, her mother, tried to convince her to break up with him. Edvard played the two of them off against each other, leaving Penelope alone in the world. He threatened to ruin Penelope permanently if Isabella interfered. In the end, Isabella gave up on her daughter. Then the clown started showing up in Penelope's dreams. Edvard is a real name. Okay, it is. Okay, thank you, J Park. Edvard, huh? Okay, so let me get this straight here. So the Penelope's mother, Isabella, that's her name. Okay, so Penelope dated a man named Edvard who was abusive towards her. Her mother tried to get her to break up with him, but he threatened to hurt Penelope even more. So Isabella had to give up on her own daughter. Okay. A Nordic variant of Edward. Okay. There's a Norwegian painter with the same name. Okay. Okay. So in the end, Isabella gave up on her daughter. Then the clown started showing up in Penelope's dreams. Face covered in white with bright circles around his eyes and mouth, a huge grin, a cheery manner, lots of big gestures, and calls to the crowd. Penelope found his ridiculous nature deeply frightening. She couldn't move, her body covered in a cold sweat, her heart beating so fast it seemed like it was beating right into her brain. She couldn't even look away, and her breathing grew so shallow she was barely conscious enough to think. Occasionally, her eyes even rolled back in her head, and she fainted. While still asleep and dreaming, the only person she could talk to about this fear had been Isabella. Hi, NZ Poppy. No, you're not too late. I have not brushed my teeth for a year. Dude, you might want to get on that. You might want to brush your teeth. Anyway, she's the only one I can trust. I finally realized that, but no matter how many times I tell her, Penelope starts crying again. I have no idea what to do when girls cry. I just stood there awkwardly and waiting for her to stop. You could just try comforting her, George. You know, give her a hug or maybe a pat on the shoulder or something. Ugh. So, she continued, still crying. I went over to the window where the clown was, very slowly ready to run. And I found this. She held out a doll about the size of her palm. It had no clothes and a shapeless face with eyes and a wide open mouth stitched on. The eyes were white circles with no pupils, and there was blood streaming out the mouth down its chin. There was a hangman's noose tied around its neck. It's dead. It's supposed to be me, I'm sure. It's a warning. I'm going to die. Someone's going to murder me soon. George is still an idiot, I see. Yeah, he is. He is. That won't happen, I said. But I had no basis for this, and Penelope knew that. Still, I thought this was all happening because I thoughtlessly went to see her. Nothing like this had happened before today. Why don't you come in? I said. I led her up on the porch and tried to open the door. It was locked from the inside. Mom? Why would she shut us out? George? Her voice came from inside. Run! Question mark. What? Open the door, Mom. Suddenly terrified, I began rattling the knob. But the door wouldn't budge. Listen to me, George. You have to run. Mom, open this door. What's going on? There's a clown in here. A clown? Eek! Penelope squeaked. She backed away, almost falling down the 2 steps up the porch. Oh, George, sorry. I think I brought it with me. This made no sense. Harvey Cortez was dead. I didn't believe in ghosts. Someone living must be doing this. Wait a minute, isn't a while back he just saw like a vampire and a person, his teacher who became dead, a zombie. So like, why would he could, do you think he would like be more believable about stuff that is dead could be causing this? Maybe, I don't know. I thought he'd be more open-minded with this whole thing. Chapter 3 is like the shortest in the book, so I think the stream will be less painful than the last. Oh God, I hope so, considering I'm just going to be doing chapter 3. People of this chat, please share your subs energy with her. Thanks, Icy Tap. Thank you for joining, by the way. Well, from what I heard, we haven't even gone to like scratch the surface of the bizarre stuff. Something living must be doing this. I'd learned that much after 4 years as Tsukumajuku's friends. There were no ghosts. There was no magic. Curses only worked on the emotions of those that believed in them. The Chinese were not wizards, and there were no drugs or poisons with special properties that favored the criminals. Everything had meaning. Everything could be explained logically. Again, Chapter 1. Vampires. Zombies. He saw them, and yet he doesn't believe in ghosts. Yeah, Rex, exactly. But the vampires, like, I don't get it. What the hell, George? I'm missing Joji right now, I swear. The clown on the other side of this door. Well, I mean, vampires can be explained logically, I guess, but still. Like, it's still kind of dumb that you think you can believe in vampires, yet you can't believe in ghosts. In the logic of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, at least. Yes. The clown on the other side of this door could be explained too. Mysterious clowns only existed in dreams. I put my back into it and kicked the door down. Crash! I kicked a lot of doors down working with Tsukumajuku, but this was definitely my best ever attempt. The door broke free of the lock, flew inwards, and did a full 180, slamming against the inside wall. Thanks for the description of that. Don't really need it, but thank you anyway. Mom, I yelled, bursting in. Then I saw it, a clown floating in the air and my mum facing it down. The clown did exist. I screeched behind me. Okay, so the clown was real. Penelope could see it too. A fat little white clown. White hair, white makeup, puffy white clothes. Penelope, wait outside, I yelled, and grabbed a nearby chair with one hand. Strike before you think. Strike before you think. I swung the chair through the air and hit the clown with it. Rah! Shun! The chair zipped through the air. The clown vanished. No. The clown vanished. No, it broke into sudden manliness. Yeah. What the chair hit the floor. This wasn't a ghost. I never seen a ghost, but this clown didn't vanish like mist or smoke. It shattered into tiny pieces. They were hard to make out, but they were still in the air in front of me. Mom, you get out of here, I said. Calm down, George, Mom said behind me. I don't think the clown means us any harm. Listen to me, the clown is real and trying to is that from part 7, Sealed by Ron? I think Gyro says that, right? I think that's a reference to part 7. Where's I? Oh yeah. What makes you say that? I was quite surprised when it appeared all the doors and windows slammed shut. But when the girl outside, Penelope, appeared, I understood. I don't know how, but I believe Penelope is making that clown. She's making it to protect herself. Okay, so the clown is her stand. So are we finally getting stands now? Are stands going to be explained? Vampires, zombies, psh, who cares? Oh shit, a clown! Huh? George, are you okay? Penelope asked. I turned around and Penelope had come back up the steps onto the porch and was looking in the door. Penelope, don't come in, I meant to say, but suddenly the door slammed shut and the floating clown manifested in the shadows behind it. Penelope's shriek and my yelp of surprise overlapped. The clown ignored us both, dragging a heavy side table over the door and wedged it underneath the doorknob, locking us in. We were in a locked room. George, run! Penelope screamed. I'm so sorry. I brought him here. It's not a stand, technically speaking. Oh, it's not? Then what is it? But the clown never looked at me. It just stared at the door, at Penelope on the other side of it. Chair in hand, I moved slowly closer. The clown didn't turn around. I studied it closely. There were cracks on the surface of it here and there, and I could see inside there was nothing in there. It was all surface, a hollow clown. Zombie vampires, I sleep. This is my stand. Want a clown job? What? Clowns, real shit. Oh, clown. I moved even closer. The cracks in the clown had frayed edges. I put my face right next to it and could see the threads. This clown was woven out of thread. What thread? I found a single thread dangling down from the clown's hip. I followed it with my eyes. It ran along the floor and through the gap under the front door. Penelope, step back! Sniff. Okay, I'm sorry. She was crying again. I listened for her footsteps on the stairs. Then moved to the side table aside and opened the door. Eek! Look out, George, behind you! Penelope screamed. She must have seen the clown behind me, so I stepped out on the porch and closed the door. Oh, good. Are you okay, George? Come over here. There was a clown right behind you. The white thread ran across the porch, down the steps, and over to Penelope. Wait, George, your mother. She's still in there with the clown. We have to save her. Penelope bravely started up the stairs again, so I put my arms around her. She was the one who needed saving. What are you doing, George? She was struggling. The clown! My hands were resting on her shoulders, and I could tell her sleeveless dress was now held on by a single string over each shoulder. In the night air, her shoulders were very cold. Wait, so let me get this straight. The clown was actually made of her dress? Of the threads of her dress? There was a clown right behind you. True horror. Honk honk. Listening to this while sleeping gave me some fucked up dreams. Why would you listen to this while you're sleeping? I feel like I missed a lot of context in chapter 2. Also, what did I miss? Okay, Lord Blue Balls, there's a girl named Penelope who was supposed to be a victim for Harvey Cortez, aka the Locked Room Maestro, who was dressed up as a clown. Turns out the clown is back and is inside George's house. He didn't attack Erina, but there might be a possibility that it's the work of a stand or something else. I don't know. Anyway, my mom's fine, I said. Penelope stopped struggling. She was still scared and confused, but she was standing still now. My arms were around her, pulling her to me, fighting the force of her fear. It had happened again, I thought. Just like Harvey Cortez's power over dreams and Antonio Torres' skin shedding, constant fear and suffering had given her strange powers. I remember how the trick Harvey Cortez had wanted Penelope to use had involved a thread running under the door to turn the key. A very simple trick. It would have bored Tsukumojuku to tears, but the fear it had given Penelope was so great it had led to this mysterious power. I cursed the fear itself silently, holding her close. Wait, so this was triggered because she was afraid? I don't quite understand, really. Eventually, the thread from Penelope's dress snapped. A doll in a noose dropped behind the door, and Mom brought it out. I took it, showed it to Penelope, and unraveled it before her eyes. There was a loose thread coming out of the doll's hip, and one tug on that was all it took. The doll came apart that easily. I know this is hard to believe, but you made all of this, Penelope. The clown, the locked room, and this doll. You were much too scared of that clown that wanted you to commit a locked room murder. You couldn't take the constant fear, and it gave you a strange power, the ability to make locked rooms. Okay. I'm leaving for now, sorry, but I really need to get some work done. Have fun, guys. Okay, Drunken, thanks for joining us, even if it was short. Okay, let me get this straight. So she was given this power that has the ability to, like, make locked rooms, like lock all the doors and windows in rooms. But since you don't want to do that, you make the clown do it. And because you don't want to kill anyone, you kill this doll. And it all gets shut inside a locked room. Okay, I don't quite get it, but all right. Penelope didn't believe me, of course. She couldn't see inside the physical locked room or into the depths of her own heart. I just had to hope she'd get used to it in time. But wherever Penelope went, no matter what door she drew near, most useless ability ever. Well, I mean, there have been a lot of stands out there that have some pretty bad abilities. I don't know if this is like the worst stand ability, but who knows? But wherever Penelope went, no matter what door she drew near, her fear slammed it shut, made a locked room. A clown appeared inside, and a doll was hung. And that was just fueled by fear. I got used to it quickly enough, and I had never been afraid of clowns or locked rooms. I explained it to Isabella and had her observe the power in action, but she remained terrified and convinced Penelope had been possessed by the devil. So I talked it over with Mom, and we decided to have Penelope come live with us. Okay. That's nice of you, George. Mom was a majority stockholder in a successful English company called the Speedwagon Company. Okay, we got Speedwagon! Finally, even if it's just the foundation, but it's Speedwagon Company, not Speedwagon Foundation. Is this the Insane Clown Postu reference? I wouldn't be surprised if the author of this was a gigolo. Maybe, I don't know. Survivor is a better stand. I don't know what Survivor is, but I guess I could take your word for it. But anyway, yeah, we got a mention of Speedwagon, even if it's just the Speedwagon Company. So we didn't take lack for money, and she ran a trading company of her own with ships and warehouses in every port in the Canary Islands. Wasn't Erina supposed to be like a teacher in Phantom Blood and Bell Tendency? Wasn't she a teacher or something? I don't know. I don't remember much. She hired Penelope to work in the La Palma office and to be my tutor. Okay. Just standing in front of a door caused it to slam shut and form a locked room, leaving Penelope quaking in the shadow of the clown. But I went with her to work and walked with her around the house. And in time, locked rooms stopped showing up at the office and our house. Frankly, I was somewhat disappointed. I mean, just standing in front of a door made Penelope's clothes unravel? La Palma was hot all year, and nobody wore that many clothes to begin with. Penelope wore sundresses and maybe a light shawl over her shoulders, and that's it. Having that unravel the surface area rapidly shrinking, oh my. Naturally, I said nothing, pretending to be focused on the problem and not to be noted. And not to have noticed anything, but boys, girls see right through this. She picked up on my furtive glances and rapidly covered herself with pillows or nearby bedsheets. I still can't believe it. But that grin on your face makes me think it has to be true. I was grinning? Crap. I mean, sorry, Penelope. You're really scaring me here. I was all flustered every time, but Penelope was never really all that mad at me, thankfully. Would I ever be a proper gentleman? Also, here's another thing. What about Lisa? Because in chapter 1, they both said they loved each other, so, yeah, George, are you gonna cheat on Lisa with Penelope? I'm starting to, like, sense some tension going on. Yay, Speedweed Eek. She was teacher in the Battle Tendency uplog. Okay, yeah, so she was a teacher. Okay, that I still remember. Speedweed Inc., Fuel Speed Inc. Nice. Okay, apparently not. One day in February, 6 months after Penelope moved into the Joestar residence, and a while after she'd been, okay, it's been 6 months after that, she'd been able to go to work on her own. She asked me to go with her again. Sorry, George, just for today, I promise. Yesterday, I just got this idea in my head that someone was following me. I'm scared to go on my own. Usually my job was to go. Excuse me. I hope we get to see Speedwagon stand soon. That is, if Speedwagon does show up in this. Usually my job was to go, you made this locked room, Penelope, or the clown's made of thread and it will turn into a doll in a few minutes, so there's no need to be frightened. But this sounded more like actual bodyguard work. I was getting nervous already. I mean, when I was working with Tsukumajuku, we used on murder scenes and chase killers around and catch them. But most of the work was done by Tsukumajuku and the police. While I hovered nearby shrieking, I didn't even really fight at all, and I still had no real confidence in my left hook. The only thing I'd really gained from those experiences was courage, or so I thought, but apparently I hadn't even managed that, because when I tried to stand up from the breakfast table and say I'd go to work with her, my legs were shaking so much I couldn't walk straight and stumbled into the table. All the dishes rattled. Crap, that was a little too frightened. I even surprised myself. Oh, George, sorry, are you okay? You don't have to come, Penelope smiled bravely. I'll be fine. She totally knew I was scared, but even though I was embarrassed, part of me was super relieved she said that and looking forward to getting back to sipping my coffee. Pathetic. I hadn't improved one iota since grade school. But before I could say anything, Mum stepped in. No, George, you have to go with Penelope. At least I maintained my dignity, maybe, but in the sense that both of them knew exactly what I was thinking, probably not at all. I suddenly had a very bad feeling about the day. That would almost make reading this nonsense worth it. Yeah, if Speedwagon does show up. Well, if this novel is to be believed, it is not. Joseph got his philandering habit from George? Possibly, I don't know. But I left the house with Penelope. She thoughtfully chose to be super chatty to keep my mind off things. But my head was full of all the times Antonio's gang had come after me, and it felt like a dark cloud was hovering over my head that I was sure it would bring bad luck. Of course, Antonio Torres was dead, and his primary cohort, Julio, had long since lost interest, so neither of them showed up. But office, there was a road that cut through the middle of an open field, and waiting for us was Penelope's ex, the bad Edvard Noriega. I think that's how I say that. I froze to the spot, my mind blank. Penelope glared at him. Hey, Penny, long time no see. What? What do you want? I just wanted to see how you were getting on. I don't want to see your face ever again. Don't say that. I'm dying here. You heard I was working for the Joestars, right? I'm not lending you money, and no matter what trouble you're in, you'll get no help from me. That's not it. I got no money, true, but I don't need that. I saw something strange. Strange? That word finally snapped me out of it. Edvard was nothing like he'd been when Tsukumajuku and I last spoke to him. Where Once he'd been an alpha male and treated Penelope like his property. Now Edvard was genuinely terrified, his voice shaking, his face pale. He was downright begging for Penelope's help. Come on, George, leave him be. He's a great actor, always was good at making people pity him, Penelope snapped. Really? Acting? This was a performance? No, I'm serious. Listen, please, I saw this creepy guy with wings. Huh? A creepy guy with wings? Okay. Shut up and go away. I was so scared. It was too dark to see his face, but he's after me. I don't care. Take care of it yourself. I just know he's gonna kill me, Penny. Have a heart. You gotta listen. He's like a he's like okay, we got a typo here. He's like a moth in the night, tapping softly on the wall. Shut up, shut up, shut up! You never once listened to a word I said about the clown. Serves you right. I couldn't be sorrier about that, honest. It was all my fault, so please, just stop a second. Don't go digging up the past. Listen, 2 nights ago, I went out to see this girl I've been seeing, Prunella. Prunella? Okay, Prunella. I don't want to hear it. You gotta listen. I don't love her anything like as much as I loved you, I swear. I don't care. You'd better stop. Or Penelope was so angry now she stopped walking. How could she not be? When the case with Javier Cortez broke, Edvard had split without even saying goodbye. Even after Penelope had shut herself in, Isabella said she'd spend a while waiting for him to come back. And now he shows up talking about his new girlfriend, even though he'd never bothered breaking up with his old one. The worst thing a man than an ex. So I was just lying in bed, Prunella, when I suddenly woke up. Did you not hear me say stop? I don't want to hear it. Yeah, goddamn, this guy doesn't take no for an answer. I mean, like, she says that she doesn't want to hear anything about it, and he's just trying to tell his story. Mothman? Why not? Nah, I didn't think of Mothman. I mean, we didn't describe what kind of wings they were, though, so, yeah. I knew she felt... Let's see, did you not hear me say stop? I don't want... So I was lying in bed with Prunella when I suddenly woke up. Let's see, did you not hear me say stop? I don't want to hear it, Penelope. These names are awful. Prunella, Tsukamajuku, are you fucking kidding me? Well, what you gonna do? I knew how she felt, but her anger was so explosive it scared me. Come on now, just ignore him. Let's go, I said, trying to calm her down and pull her away. Then I saw her face. There were veins bulging on her forehead. Her lips were curled back, baring her teeth. She looked downright mad. To work. Penelope was beyond the help of words, but Edvard was too wrapped up in his own affairs to notice. He was standing at the base of the bed, black as the devil, but so quiet he hardly seemed real. Something red trickled down from Penelope's nose. Blood. She was so furious. She got so angry she got a nosebleed. I didn't even think that was possible. She was so furious that there was blood running down her chin. If you don't stop talking, I'll kill you, he said. I was too scared to try and stop her. While I dithered, there was a burst of wind around me. Had the wind changed? No, there was a rumbling below me, and the sound was moving, coming closer. What the? I looked around, half expecting to see all the dogs and cats on the island rush towards me, but no. What was actually happening was far more terrifying. The ground itself was moving. Skirnch. Huh? You freaking frigs, when will you learn? You ruined Sonic. Lol. Anyway, Skirnch. It swirled, gathering itself around us. A mound of earth raced by, a mound of earth raced by like a carnivore hell-bent on devouring the crops. Like a carnivore hell-bent on devouring the crops. Carnivores eat meat. They don't eat vegetables. If they meant crops as in vegetables, then it would be a herbivore or maybe an omnivore. That would make much more sense. God damn it. It passed behind me, heading for Edvard. I knew he wasn't a thief or nothing. Oh my god, Edvard, take a fucking hint! You're just still going on and on about this, even though Penelope says she doesn't want to hear it. Man. I knew he wasn't a thief or nothing. Thieves don't watch people when they sleep. They don't wear clothes that make them look like they got wings. Like a carnivore hell-bent on devouring the crops. Exactly! What the hell? By the way, thank you for joining us, Master of Roku. Where was I? I'm going to kill you, Edvard. Don't stop it now, or you will die? Question mark. Stop it now, or you will die? Well, you don't really need a question mark for that. It would be like a period or an exclamation point. Like that. Both of them kept talking, oblivious to the other. Penelope's nosebleed had dyed her chest red, and Edvard's eyes were focused on nothing. The very fact that he hadn't noticed what was going on was possibly the most frightening part of all this. What? Like a carnival hell-bent on divorcing the cops would have made more sense. I know. By the way, hi, Mr. Awkward. Nice of you to join me. By the way, I saw your Tumblr post on the fan comments video, and I'm really grateful that you liked them. Thank you so much, by the way. I'm looking forward to the comments on episode, we're on 19? 19 or 20, around that. The 13 ones, yeah. Where was I? Wait, I'm not surprised to look at sleeping people when I'm robbing them, and my raven outfit isn't meant for this. Okay. I'm gonna kill you now, Edvard. Stop fucking like. Okay. Most frightening part of all. Look, I opened my mouth to yell, but the dirt and grass around him heaved, and 4 walls shot up around him. But Edvard didn't stop mumbling. I was too scared to get up. Then he spoke. Close your eyes, lie down, and think about tomorrow, he said. He was about to be swallowed in a 5-meter wide square of dirt. I said stop, Penelope hissed, another squirt of blood shooting out of her nose. Is she 11? It's like if 11 gained like psychic powers that will allow her to summon rooms. Yeah, and also, why the fuck isn't Edvard noticing this? Like, she's summoning a goddamn room surrounding him. Knows. I took one look at her and knew this was all her doing. I don't know what he meant, but I knew one thing. This black-winged man was going to do something awful to me. For fuck's sakes, Edvard, shut the fuck up and look around you. How come the other novels in the versus JoJo project were some of the most influential and best writers in the industry, and then this hack gets to write on the playing field as them? I don't know. I really don't. Just before the earth walls swallowed Edvard completely, I saw a black figure standing behind him. It had a round nose and a hat and big hair. A clown. The walls closed together on top, closing Edvard in with the dirt clown. The locked room was complete. If you'd stopped, you'd have lived, Penelope raged. Penelope had finally learned to make a locked room without using her clothes. Okay, so she can create locked rooms with certain materials. Last time it was her clothes. Now, in this case, it was the ground itself. And the evil clown inside. Part of me was actually impressed. Penelope's wound had given her concrete power, and she turned it into a weapon. Given the source of her powers, I immediately decided to call it a wound. Injury was too coarse and trauma sounded too medical, but the implications that it was mentally suffering was too strong. This wound was both physical and emotional and grew over time. let me get this straight. So let me see if I get this straight. Okay, so this is called a wound, not a stand, but wounds. In this story, stands are called wounds. Is that what's going on here? I don't know. Edvard is the one killable NPC that just doesn't shut up. He's getting what's coming to him. Yeah, he kind of is. He is, honestly. Yes. So, no. Wait, so the wounds aren't, isn't the name for the stands? It's a type of stand. Oh, stands. Stands are wounds. Yeah, yes. Bootleg stands. Okay, so you guys are saying that wounds is the new name for stands in this universe. They're not called stands, they're called wounds. That's what's going on? Because I feel like that's what's going on. Also, I don't know how I should feel about wounds being called stands being called wounds. I mean, I could understand stands, but wounds, I guess, in the context of this universe, but I don't know. I kind of feel like stands sound better. I don't know. Another awful name. But this was no time to go naming things. Was I an idiot? I had to stop. I had time to be really impressed later. Yeah, that's a good question, George. Why didn't you try to do anything to stop this sooner? There are stand-like abilities. Okay, so stand-like abilities. So they're not technically stands, but they are in a way. Stand is iconic. Wound is a medical issue. They sound kind of gross. Yeah, they do kind of sound like that. No, Penelope, stop, I said, forcing myself to speak. Don't kill him. Penelope didn't even look at me. It's not me. Of course not. It was the clown. Edvard, run! I yelled, dashing towards the locked room. There was no door or window, just the walls. Grass woven tightly together, dirt plugging up the cracks. I tried yanking on the grass, but the holes filled quickly with more grass and dirt. The walls were alive. Ah! Edvard screamed inside. Had the clown got its noose on him? Fundamentally, the point of a locked room murder was to make a murder look like a suicide. But if Edvard died like this and someone found him, would the police think he built a room of dirt and grass and hung himself inside? In the middle of this reading, is this even about George or and other JoJo characters anymore? Kind of, I think. I don't know. I didn't know, but without evidence showing how the locked room was built, without proof if it was murder, would the police have any other choice but to rule it a suicide? If so, Penelope's locked room murder would be a success, but I wouldn't let that happen. I wouldn't let Penelope murder anyone. I ripped into the grass and dirt walls, forced a hole open. I had to work faster than the automatic recovery. I got the hole large enough to check on Edvard. I couldn't see most of him, but his feet were dangling in the air, kicking. He was hanging. Stop, Penelope! Don't make a locked room! Break this locked room down, I shouted, making the hole even wider. Before the grass and dirt could fill it in, I dove in. No, don't, George! Don't come out of there! Before Penelope's cry finished, the wall closed behind me, muffling her voice. I turned around just in time to see the hole close up completely. Edvard was dangling a rope of grass around his neck. Behind him, an earthen clown dangled upside down from the ceiling. Why had I jumped in here? Ah! I yelled. There was a snap as the grass rope dropped down from the ceiling around my neck. It yanked me into the air hard. The grass dug into my throat, breaking the skin, and I barely noticed. The weight of my body nearly made me black out instantly. Luckily, the noose was choking off my windpipe and jugulars, cutting off the flow of my air to my brain. Not moving, my entire body gasped for oxygen. The pain I tried desperately to loosen or break out, it wouldn't budge. Instead, more tendrils slithered down, weaving themselves into the noose, making it stronger. I was starting to panic. The dirt clown moved its face next to mine, watching me die. Now I was really panicking, but I couldn't. Not now. My legs couldn't reach the ground, and this clown was excuse me. And this clown was going to make sure I died. I wasn't getting out of it by brute forcing my way. I had to think. Else aggressively picking at their hair. Edvard plays Moja. The locked room. Penelope. Could Penelope save me? No, she'd made the locked room. Penelope had no idea what was happening inside. Anything that happened would be the clown's fault. And her mom was even less aware that she than the clown staring emotionlessly into my eyes. I were dead. She'd cry a while and tell everyone in some mysterious lock, then forget all about it and we're over. I couldn't rely on her at all. I had to think of a way. Okay, I had to think of a way to break the locked room myself without brute force, but that just might. But that just might be possible if I could break the idea of a locked room somehow. The point of a locked room was to make a murder look like a suicide. If I could provide evidence that this was a murder, if I could just leave that behind somehow so that the police would have to investigate further, then that would destroy the locked room's function. Okay, so let me get this straight. So the only way to stop this wound is to make this suicide attempt look more like a murder. If it looks more like a murder, then the locked room would stop. Okay, I guess. Drag! I yelled, not because of this idea, but because the pancakes and tea I had before breakfast had come out of my throat. Okay, so he was vomiting. And were dripping back down into my windpipe. This was going to kill me before this noose did. I had to hurry, but carefully. I couldn't screw this up. I pulled my knife out of my back pocket. It was a pocket knife, mostly designed for opening wine. The blade was 3 centimeters long. I kept it around for self-defense because I was pathetic, but today I was very grateful I have it. I pulled my shirt up and stabbed the knife into my bare belly. What the heck is that? That's supposed to be a yell of pain, but it's pronounced gra-ra-ra. Gra-ra-ra. What the fuck? Gargling the vomit into my windpipe. The vision was getting blurry. I could barely see. I knew the clown was still there, though. There was a shrill ringing in my eyes, and I was about to pass out entirely. Yeah, that's what I was supposed to be spelled like. Shrill ringing in my eyes, and I was about to pass out entirely. But I couldn't panic. I had to write. Feeling my way across my belly with the knife, I wrote, Oh, I get this. Oh, I get this. This is a reference to Death 13, when Kakyoin wrote the baby Stan message on his arm. Okay, I see what you did there. Feeling my way across my belly with the knife, I wrote a message that the clown would have to read. Murder. How is he making any noise other than gurgles? I don't fucking know. I hope Edvard dies. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Nice and simple. I barely made it. While I was writing the final R, I lost consciousness, and the world went black before my eyes. I saw a tiny light in the darkness and wondered if that was the entrance to the afterlife. It seemed so warm. Should I jump on in? No, I'm not done with this world yet. But just as I started to feel rather rapturous, my ass hit the ground. The ceiling opened. Sunlight streamed in, and I threw out more than I ever thrown up before. Very long words of just him vomiting, like blarg, blarg, blarg. No joke. That's what it says on this light novel. My nose is itchy. Yeah, exactly, J Park. Just that. Once my stomach and lungs and pipes were I felt so happy. It's like poetry. They rhyme. I felt so happy. I wondered if I could split this joy with Penelope, who was clutching me and crying, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." Edvard was unconscious but alive. I was relieved to see it. My belly throbbed, but it would heal in time. Or so I thought, but apparently I dug a little too deep, and the word murder would remain upside down in my belly forever. I wouldn't say forever. I mean, I would say that it could heal. It might take a lot of time, but it would definitely leave some scars there. Lots of vomiting in this chapter. Yeah, there is a lot of vomiting. I'm missing the stupidity of chapter 1 already. Oh, yeah. Yeah, chapter 1 was really stupid, but yeah. Anyway, when the doctor told me this, I gaped at him, and Penelope started crying again, and a familiar voice from the hospital door yelled, "George, who did that to you?" And I turned to look and saw Lisa standing there, a little taller, her hair much longer, and even more beautiful. I hid my bare belly, and Penelope wiped her eyes and stopped crying. "They're still bullying you? Murder? Is that a threat? George, make stop in." Lisa was jumping to conclusions. 4 years had done wonders for her. So they're like 15, 16 years old at this point. Okay. For her. But the gulf between her insides and were already getting on my nerves. No, I did this myself. Don't lie to me. Nobody would ever do that. They explain it to me this instant. Shut up. I don't have to explain everything I do to you. Lisa clamped her mouth shut. I think you meant clamped her mouth shut, but it was S-H-I-T, not S-H-U-T. Chapter 1 was funny bad, but this is just bad. My girl. Yeah, Lisa's back. Oh, good morning. Oh, hi, Log. Japan is AM 7:30 now. Oh, it's morning for you? Okay, well, ohayou gozaimasu. I think that's how you say good morning in Japanese. I didn't know it was already 7:30 out here. It's like 5:30 here in Canada. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Lisa clamped her mouth shut, her lip quivering, tears in her eyes. Oh, crap. Sorry, Penelope said, standing. Yes. Okay, good. I got the Japanese pronunciation right. Okay, thank you, Log. Sorry, Penelope said, standing up. It's all my fault. It doesn't matter now. But this is the Penelope Mama Erina mentioned, Lisa said, glaring at us. I suppose I should introduce myself. I'm Lisa, right? George and Erina told me about you. Don't you call me Lisa. My name is Elizabeth Straits, senorita. I cringed. Fireworks were flying between them. Penelope looked ready to make a locked room around Lisa and summon that clown. I had to do something, so I forced myself to speak. What brings you here, Lisa? You come home with us? Mom will be glad to see you. Or did you already talk to her? Did you go see her first? I suppose you wouldn't know to come here otherwise. We kept your room the same way you left it, so finding you here was a coincidence, George, Lisa interrupted. I had a question for the doctor here and saw you'd been hurt. I was a little surprised, that's all. Her tone had softened to my relief. A question for me, the doctor said. Have you had a patient coming here claiming to have seen a man with wings or a man like a moth? So much for my relief. I just had heard I had just heard that exact story. So yeah, the man with wings does exist. I wonder who this man with wings is. Listen, please, I saw this creepy guy with wings. Edvard's words. Penelope looked as stunned as I was. Yeah, the doctor said. We've had a lot of patients wondering if they were having a nervous breakdown. Lisa nodded as if she'd expected that answer. I checked with the police as well. They have quite a collection of reports of this man, and the citizens have formed a watch to search for him. Eh? Really? I had no idea. I barely even left the house, so I was out of touch with the goings-on around town. At first, I thought it was a trick of the light or an illusion, the doctor said, but more and more people came, so I was forced to conclude it's some sort of mass hysteria. A delusion everyone believed. He paused, sighing deeply, but truth is, he came to me last night. The man with black wings. He really exists. That was no delusion. Didn't I don't know if he's of this world or not, but he is real. Long ellipses, exclamation points, exclamation mark. Cars? Oh, is it cars? I don't know. That would be interesting. I mean, black wings, comes out at night. Might have been him. A Mothman, if you will. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if this is cars or not. The delusion even reached the doctor? Examining people? I looked at Lisa concerned. Do you remember what happened 5 years ago, George? When Straits and the others came and told everyone not to leave their houses? Of course I remembered. A chill ran down my spine. Is that happening again? I will be thorough. I was scared now. He spoke to me, the doctor said, his eyes glazed over as Edward's had been. Close your eyes, lie down, and think, he said. The exact same line, word for word, even scarier. Do as he says, doctor, Lisa said. Lock yourself in your house tonight, and if anything frightens you, retreat even farther inside. Even farther inside how, exactly? The way she put... What happened 5 years ago, Penelope asked me. I remember locking myself in, but I couldn't begin to answer. The three of us walked home in silence to find Straits and Mum sipping tea in the parlor. The mood was hardly pleasant. In fact, I started to cry. There was no escape anywhere. Everything on the island was terrifying. After greeting them, Lisa said, Mama Erina, I think it's time George knew the truth about what happened to his father. It can't be cars. I didn't mention his fabulous hair. Oh, yeah, that is true. I mean, it's not cars if he can't even talk about his hair. Okay, Mom put her teacup on the table. Yes, I suppose you're ready to hear the story, even if it is a frightening one. No. I definitely wasn't, but I couldn't say that or even shake my head. I was already too scared to move. Should I wait in my room? Penelope asked. Mom shook her head. No, you should stay too. This story concerns not just the Joestar family, but all mankind. I'm going to need a drink of water for that. Okay. Told the story. Okay, so I'm going to presume she's telling the story of what happened, of how Jonathan died. I wonder if there's going to be any changes within that story, though. And then she told the story. Dio, got a mention of Dio finally. God in both Italian, Dio, and Spanish, Dios, as the name of an uncle of no blood relation. My father had uncovered a plot of Dio's to slowly poison my grandfather, George. And when the police came to arrest him, he'd resisted. And the Joestar mansion had burned to the ground. As I'd heard it. But the ending was different. Dio did not die. Mom's story began with that correction. This is the story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute to sit right there. Became an immortal vampire. I wasn't sure how to end it up right there. Egg, Kakyoin Angel. Are you talking about Clamp? Log, are you talking about Clamp in Wonderland? God, I did not read Clamp in Wonderland. I'm still saving that for the 10K special that I was planning. Clamp in Wonderland. Oh boy. That is going to be a bridge I got to cross eventually. Anyway, Dio Brando, he'd kept the name even after being adopted by the Joestars, had stabbed my grandfather right in front of Jonathan and the police, then put on a stone mask that had been found in an Aztec ruin in Mexico. He'd wiped blood across the surface of it, and long needles had shot out and stabbed. Wait, I just realized something. Oh God, you actually planned on reading that? Yes, I actually did plan on reading that, but only if I reach 10,000 subscribers, which might not be too long. But anyway, I'm just realizing something. This is George is telling us the story of how Dio became a vampire. Oh no more cramp egg. Okay, thank you, Log. Joe's. Fuck. What I'm trying to say is that telling us in great detail about how Dio became a vampire, which he's technically like he's basically telling us what he heard from Erina. So how the hell did Erina know the details about how Dio became a vampire? I guess maybe he learned about it. I guess Erina learned about it because Jonathan told her this, but I'm supposed that much detail of what happened back at the Joestar mansion before Dio became a vampire, or how he became one. Other than places Aztecs, ruins of Mexico. Okay, Jonathan told Erina. Yeah, I figured as much. Speedweed, maybe Speedweed. Yeah, probably either one or the two, or maybe both. I don't know. He wiped blood across the surface of it, and long needles had shot out and stabbed him in the head. What should have killed him instead turned him into a vampire. He destroyed the police with ferocious strength and fought with my father. In the end, both survived the fire with substantial injuries. My father met a man named Will A. Zeppeli. Finally got a Zeppeli in this. Jonathan is God's husbando. If you mean he is a great husband, then yes, I agree. Too bad he didn't live long enough to be R.I.P. Jonathan. Anyway, father met a man named Will Zappelli, who taught him a secret method of breathing based on ripples called Hamon breathing. Armed with this technique, my father fought Dio again in a small called Wind Night Slots. Dio could rob a body of all heat in an instant. Yeah, remember when Dio back in part 1 had those ice powers? Do that anymore when he came back in part 3. And my father seemed so close to losing, but managed to turn the tables and emerge victorious, but confirmed the kill according to Lisa's evaluation, and let the vampire fall into the valley. Had been destroyed by my father's Hamon. I miss Jonathan. He's a good man. Yeah, I miss him too. And yet, even though he died, he still can't catch a break. You know, Dio using his body and all that. Joestar trips over. I'd go buy for Dio. I'd go gay for him. Oh, God damn it, you guys. Anyway, where was I? Dio has something to do with this. No, that's pretty funny. I see. That's pretty funny. Where was I? Oh yeah. While Dio's body had been destroyed by my father's Hamon, he managed to cut off his own head before the Hamon reached it and survived. He's basically like retelling the events of Phantom Blood. I just realized that. He lay low for 2 months without surviving with the help of his zombies. I thought it was the help of one zombie. You know, Wang Chung. Anybody remember him? I mean, he was the one that found Dio's head. But he did create some more zombies when they got onto the yacht. I wonder how Jonathan feels about all Dio had with his body. Oh, my God. Oh, that, God damn it. What happened to Dio's ice powers? I honestly don't know. From what I've heard, he was able to do that because he was able to adapt, like, I guess he was able to control every single cell of his body, but I guess he couldn't since, you know, if he was a headless corpse, he couldn't actually do the ice powers. And, you know, when he came back in part 3, he was still adapting to Jonathan's body, so maybe he couldn't do that. This is one time I think we can say it's probably not Dio's fault. Oh, just give me 1 sec. I got to plug in my laptop. It's getting a little battery. Come on. Okay. Come on. We should be nearly done by now. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Then he snuck aboard the ship of my parents aboard the ship my parents were taking their honeymoon on and fought my father a 3rd time. And my father reached the engine room. Sorry, I just realized that. Father reaching the engine room where they were fighting in. Some sort of bodily fluid light beam shot out. Some sort of bodily fluid light beam shot out of Dio's eyes, the Space Ripper stinging eyes. Remember stingy eyes? Remember that? Oh, so it has been 2 months since Dio and Jonathan's final battle? No. Yeah. Actually, yeah, no. It shouldn't have been 2 months. Wasn't it a year? A year, wasn't it? I mean, it's been a while since I've read part 1, but I think it was a year. Jonathan's corpse made it impossible for Dio to fully utilize his vampiric powers. Yeah, that's true. Rocky does remember. Especially since, you know, Jonathan is a Hamon user, so yeah, there was that. Anyway, pierced my father's hands and throat. On the brink of death, my father used his last breath to send Hamon rippling through a zombie that attacked, manipulating the zombie into destroying the ship and the zombies on it. Wanted to die with him, but he convinced her to take baby Lisa, found crying near her mother's corpse, and climbed into the special box Dio had constructed. 2 days later, she was found floating in the box by some fishermen from the Canary Islands. Okay, you know, I just need to bring this up because I remember this part that that Erina wanted to die alongside with Jonathan. But then, like, right when she escaped from the boat, which I will get to that later, she did say something about having Jonathan's child near the end of that chapter, of that episode in the anime. Like, so thinking about it, like, Erina actually did knew that she was pregnant, but she was willing to like give her up her own life and even give up her unborn child's life so that she would die alongside with Jonathan. Doesn't anybody find that messed up? I was referring to 2 months between their last battle and the wedding. Dio is a straight up retard for going after Jonathan Jonathan instead of literally anyone else. Dude likes Jonathan a lot, apparently. Anyway, when this long, insane story, the family that dies together stays together. Funny, but yeah, it's still kind of messed up within the context of the story if you think about it. Anyway, when this long, insane story ended, Straight said, ever since Dio opened the long-lost door to the land of the dead, complex echoes of fate and casualty had led to dark powers, rearing their heads in many lands, and we have been unable to stop the fallout from these completely. On this island, it seems another zombie or vampire has appeared, even though we thought we killed them all. Then Dio stole Jonathan's dick to have the worst JoJo and some overpowered minions. Oh, damn. This Giorno is... You're talking about Giorno, aren't you? That much JoJo that much. Yeah, he does. He does have that much respect for him. Respect that he wants him to be his new body. I remember the sunlight turning her Mr. Hernandez to dust, and the Hamon Lisa had used to destroy Alejandro Torres, and couldn't stop shaking. This isn't, Lisa said. Vampires and zombies can't come here by land. There are larger islands, more populated islands, but this is the second incident on La Palma, and we're starting to wonder if there's a stone mask on this island. Ooh, that actually sounds interesting. Might be a stone mask there. Lisa looked right at Mom. Mama Erina, we have a question for you. We've spoken to the fishermen that rescued the two of us 100 kilometers southeast of La Palma, floating in a big black box that looked like a coffin. Okay, all right, now here's the thing I wanted to bring up with the coffin. That still bugs me to this day. There was only one coffin in that ship when it was like about to explode. And yet Erina took that coffin so that she, her unborn child, and Lisa would escape. And yet, in part 3, a bunch of fishermen pulled up the same coffin and Dio happens to be inside it. Possible, considering that since I saw that anime, the fire separated Erina and the coffin and Dio and Jonathan. Not to mention, Jonathan was holding onto Dio's head tightly so that he wouldn't try to do anything, even while he was dying. Gotta go do something. I'll listen to this later. Good luck. Thank you, Forte. Thanks for joining us. Just do what you gotta do, I guess. The coffin plot hole is explained in this book. Is it? Is it really? Okay. I don't... hopefully it's a good explanation. Because Araki sure as hell didn't explain that in the official canon material. Yeah, coffin? Antonio Torres had called me the White Raft, but it was actually a black coffin? Lisa glanced at me quickly, then continued. It was big enough to fit a full-grown man. There were cushions on the inside, and it was designed to shield the occupant from external blows. It sounds like a little excessive for a coffin. Excessive for a coffin. Whoops. Sorry, where was I? Okay, here. A little excessive for a coffin. But that's what the fishermen all called it. Was it a coffin, Mama Erina? I looked at Mum, and she seemed to be gritting her teeth, against some pain. She stared grimly back at Lisa, but didn't answer. The fisherman also said that that when you stepped out of your coffin raft, you had a baby, me, and something else in a bundle made from fabric torn off the hem of your dress. They said you clutched it closely to you, and that it was about the size of a human head. What? What? He hit up his boy toy and he hooked him up with a new coffin to sleep in for a century. Expecting something good from this book is a bit much, isn't it? Yeah, that is true, honestly. Of all places, this book fixes the coffin problem. Not Dio's fault. Dio plans this as well. So yeah, I don't know what is implying here, but it seems that Erina might have brought something with her that's the size of a human head. The size of a head? Then Lisa thought it was a head? You didn't bring Dio Brando's head to the Canary Islands, did you, Mama Erina? What the fuck? Why the hell would Erina bring the head of the murderer of her husband? Why? Oh, that's just... No, I really hope Erina didn't do that. And if that's the case, then goddamn, Dio is in La Palma. And if that's the case, then where the hell is he? What's he doing all this time? You wouldn't have left George's father's body on the sinking ship and brought a vampire's head with you, shielding it from the sunlight, right? Well, that wouldn't really make sense because they were separated from that fire. Unless she was somehow able to grab onto the head from Jonathan's grasp and then go into the coffin. Moonbathing. That doesn't make any sense. None of this makes sense, but I don't know. There was a harsh gleam in her eye. This was what she'd meant to be. This she'd meant by thorough. They were not even planning on showing mercy to family, but that question crossed the line. Mom would never leave Dad behind. Lisa, you're being ridiculous, I said. But Lisa never took her eyes off Mom. Why wasn't Mom saying anything? She could silence Lisa with a word. My desire to defend her was slowly giving way to anxiety. Silence. That Dio's head. Okay, thank goodness she didn't bring Dio's head, because that would have been weird. Thank goodness. Of course it wouldn't be, stupid Lisa. I was about to yell at her when Mom spoke again. That was the head of my husband, Jonathan Joestar. In my life, I was scared of my mom. That's the end of chapter 3. What? Okay, what? Let me get this straight. Okay, so, let me get this straight. So, Erina brought along Jonathan's decapitated head with her? Are you kidding me? I mean, I guess she wanted to keep a part of her. Why? How? Like, thinking about it, like time left when the boat was about to explode. Let's see, before, gotta go, bye. Okay, bye, Icy Taff. Thanks for joining me. Separated by the fiery explosion. So she would have to, like, go to Jonathan's body and somehow, like, decapitate him, like cut off his head or try to, like, tear it off of his own goddamn body and then go into the coffin of Jonathan Joestar and Lisa as a baby in order to escape. What the... That... I'm confused. What? Okay, what do you guys all think about this? She wanted to give him another kiss. Oh, that's weird. Erina Dunn took Jonathan's hand to finish the honeymoon. Oh my god. Mr. Awkward, that's just weird. Okay, but why though? I don't know. Maybe she wanted to keep a part of her husband. You got nothing to say, Master of Roku, don't you? You don't have anything to say. It's explained later on, though. Okay, I'm not gonna read any more further. It's just going to be chapter 3 right now. You know what? That's just this book, but why though? I don't know. Explained with about 50 quotation marks around it. Someone should break the hands of whoever wrote this. Gio wrote this novel for the lulz. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, hang on. Now you got me. I got to do this joke. God damn it, Mr. Upgrade. Okay. You thought it was Maijo Otaro who wrote this novel, but it was me. Sorry, I was telling my mom bye. Oh, okay, Master. Okay. She wanted to keep it as a trophy husband. Boo, no. God damn it. Jonathan did not die for this. He didn't die just so that Dio would steal his body and so that Erina could take his head. There, not even in this novel, Jonathan can't catch a break. Dio, what are you doing, Erina? Taking him a memento. Dio, here, let me do that. Mind moving the body in the coffin? Erina, sure, fam. Is balls off the walls and saying that I expected it to be. Yeah, well, apparently we still haven't scratched the surface of the novel because I believe next chapter we might finally get some stands. I know next chapter is going to be going back to Jorge Joestar, and from what I can tell, we might be going to Morio. At least that's what the title of the 4th chapter is saying. I gotta say, this is really, excuse me, this was really weird. Chapter 1, like, it was, like, funny, bad, but funny, but I felt like what ruined for me was Sukamajuku's constant talking, which was, like, really long, unnecessarily long. Chapter 2, well, not a lot of stuff happened, but it was basically just a setup chapter. But again, there was a lot of talking in that one as well. But this chapter, well, there was some stuff that was happening. We may have gotten stands, or in this case, wounds, which is weird. We're introduced to Penelope, who has the ability to create locked doors and have people kill them by making it look like it's a suicide. That's a strange stand ability or wound ability, but that's something. But I feel like there's probably some sort of tension going on between Penelope and Lisa. I don't know why though. Probably because that that Otaro isn't going to develop some sort of love triangle or something. What else? Oh yeah, as for I wish I had a wound. Every JoJo fan ever. First stands? Yeah, I think this might have been the first stand, but here they're called wounds. Which honestly, I don't know. It just doesn't sound as cool as stands. I mean, stands, it was understandably why that stands were called stands, but it was saying why that this would be called a wound, which I kind of get, but still, eh. Oh yeah. Also, there's been this mystery going on about this mysterious man with black wings. Could be Cars, but it's probably not, because if it was Cars, they also would have noticed his long, shining, beautiful hair. An enemy wound. This must be the work of an enemy wound. Yeah, it just doesn't roll off the tongue. Like, this must be the work of an enemy stand. But yeah. I think I hate George the most out of all the JoJos. Yeah, out of all the descendants of Jonathan, he's probably really bad in this one. I mean, to be fair, like, I didn't hate George. I kind of felt sorry for him. But then he didn't last very long. And also, apparently, Hamon skipped a generation, so he didn't get Hamon, which it was kind of a bummer. But this novel isn't making me trying to like him at all. I mean, I don't really, like, hate the guy, but there are times where I do dislike him. But I feel like I prefer Joji, the alt George Joestar, more than this George. That's where you're wrong, lol. What do you mean? That's where he's like a harem protagonist. Oh God, please don't let this be a harem. Have George end up with Lisa, like how it's supposed to be. Lisa could do better. Well, yeah, but who would she end up with? Oh, the Cars part? So wait, is it Cars? Cars is later. Oh, Cars. Oh, wait. The Cars part. Okay, so maybe the car. Okay, so maybe there is the possibility of Cars showing up. I don't know. Oh no, the Trish part is. Okay, so there is a Cars part. Okay. Make this better. I don't know. I'm still waiting for Speedwagon to show up, or maybe frigging maybe we'll have a Zappelli. I mean, so far we've got references to part 4. We've also got references part 1, part 2. Nothing on parts 5 to 7 yet, and nothing on part 3. So we're still waiting on those references on that. If Lisa's not with George, no Joseph. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, we definitely don't want that. I mean, they have to end up together. Otherwise, there'd be no Joseph Joestar. And you got a stand or a woo. Well, this was definitely much more easier now since I don't have to deal with reading another chapter. But I feel like that things are going to get even more bizarre, more weird. I mean, we have yet to like get to Morio and know what's going on with Yoshikage Kira with the whole Clown Maestro thing going on. Nothing is how it's supposed to be in this thing. No Joseph, no old Joseph. I hope email you like Steel Ball runs soon as you get to part 7. Oh my God. Yeah. I hope not email. Oh. Well, it's okay. I mean, I know the gist of what's going on in part 7 if you're saying that I should be at part 7, but don't read email. Okay. Okay. Don't read email? Whose email? Or do you mean don't read any further? Because I still plan to go reading further. But you know, anyway, I think I'm going to end the live stream right here. So far, how I feel about this novel is this is just weird. And I definitely feel like that you shouldn't read more than one chapter every day. Otherwise, it'll probably be just a slug to go through. You're going to be in your 30s by the time part 7 anime starts airing. Yeah, that might be true. But then again, we still know we're on part 5. When part 5 anime, when's that coming? But yeah, anyway, this George Joestar novel, this was weird. I don't know how much weirder it can possibly get, but it is going to get even weirder. So I'm going to end the stream right here. Thank you guys so much for joining me to my live reading of Chapter 3 of the George Joestar light novel. Chapter 4, I'm not sure. Maybe sometime on maybe on Thursday or maybe Sunday or Monday. I don't know. All 16 chapters. Yeah, that's 16 chapters. So 13 more to go. I hate it with every fiber of my being. I know how you feel, Lord Blue Balls. I know how you feel. I meant not to say stupid spell check. It's okay, Jotaro. It's okay. Email, not stupid. Damn it. Oh, I shouldn't laugh. You know what? It's okay, Jotaro. It's okay. By the way, are we going to get an alternate version of Jotaro in this? It's too soon for Joseph, but maybe we'll get a Jotaro or a Polnareff or a Kakyoin, maybe. I don't know. Thank you for suffering for our amusement, question mark. Oh, you're very welcome, Mr. Awkward. By the way, I look forward to your live commentary on this weekend for Stars Crusaders. You might probably like this episode that'll be coming up. But anyway, yeah. Okay, yes, his hair even mucked up. Oh my God, is Josuke going to be in this? I have no idea. But anyway, yeah, I should probably end it right now. I keep saying that, but I never stop. God damn it. Okay, so yeah, thank you guys for joining to my live stream. I'll let you guys know when I'll have the next live stream for chapter 4. It might be a few days later. Stream while I sleep was the worst mistake I have ever made. I'm not. Why are you doing that? Listening to this while you're trying to sleep. That's not a good idea. But yeah. So I guess with that being said, I'm gonna stop the live stream. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you guys next time, and I'll let you know when the live stream for chapter 4 will be coming out. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye, Master Roku. Thank you for joining me. Or good morning, whichever country you're in right now. Bye.